Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the webinar today. And I'm excited that this webinar has come at a very momentous occasion, that when technologies are evolving. And let me begin with the introductions. We have Colonel Mahendra Singh, who is the Chief Information Security Officer and Head Program Management for Maruti Suzuki, which is India's largest automobile manufacturer. Colonel Mahendra Singh is a thought leader with a career of more than 40 years in the field of strategy, administration, security, including information and cybersecurity. He is currently CISO and heads the program management team at Maruti. He has been head of central administration, in addition to his role as CISO in the last 8 years with the company. We have a budding youngster, Mohit Bughani, from Reliance Industries. He is the team lead, information technology, and which is under the enterprise security platform. Reliance is India's top multinational conglomerate that operates in diverse sectors, including energy, petrochemicals, natural gas, retail, telecommunications, mass media, and textiles. Then we have two lovely ladies with us today. And Valerie Lapteva, she is the Business Development Director of the Asia Pacific region for RecFaces. And RecFaces is one of the leading face recognition technology suppliers in the world today, and has developed certain products which we will learn about, and the ease of operations with which they can be installed and used by end users. So Valerie and her colleague are at hand today to tell us about that. Valerie brings a dynamic and user-oriented approach with expertise in strategic business development and sales management. She has played a crucial role leading the Latin American region in the past, and is now expanding her responsibilities to focus and strengthen on the Asia Pacific regions. She is dedicated to building a reliable partner network in the APAC, attracting new clients and exploring promising markets opportunities. She has a pragmatic approach at overseeing biometric projects, and her active participation in industry exhibitions and proficiency revenue forecasting showcase her commitment to this cause. Her role goes beyond conventional business development or just the business landscape. She is contributing to enhanced security in various applications such as face recognition for CCTVs and video surveillance systems, access control systems, time management systems, which are some of the key areas that she's been working on. Her unique combination of technical expertise and exceptional business expertise would help us in also learn about the areas of where face recognition technology can be deployed. Then we have Farida Baichorova. She is the head of training for RecFaces. Farida is the product owner and demonstrates a high level of responsibility and actively contributes to shaping the product vision, and effectively communicates with the development team and customers by analyzing user requirements and market trends. So she's the person to go to if you need to know, how the technology will be deployed, and how it should be totally be designed and integrated with other systems for it to have value for the end user. Moreover, Farida actively seeks feedback from users and stakeholders for continuously improving the product, and she advocates for a customer-centric approach at every stage of the product development life cycle. So she is associated with the development teams as well. Her ability to balance strategic vision with hands-on involvement in product details makes her an effective and respected leader in the product management domain. And the last of the panelists, we have Shashi Kumar Yadav. He is the CEO of Startologic Technologies. Shashi is a visionary leader and seasoned entrepreneur, and currently is at the helm of Startologic as the CEO. Startologic is a prominent value-added distribution company specializing in security software solutions. And since security is getting less hardware-centric, as we know, and it's the game of the software, which is going to play a major role in the progress of the technology. I think Shashi's valuable experience from the IT domain comes very much in handy. So having introduced my August panel, I would just like to spend the next maybe under 5 minutes on the context setting. And face recognition technology, has its origins basically in computer vision and artificial intelligence research way back in the 1960s. And this I've learned from my little research that I did before this webinar from the internet. And from then onwards, the technology has overcome many hurdles to become a frontline biometric technology that is rapidly finding usage in various public and commercial applications. In fact, there was another fact which I uncovered, that as per the US Customs and Border Protection Department, which is called CBP, this technology has been implemented as for the entry processes of all international airports, known as simplified arrivals for the US, into the US, and into the exit processes at 48 airport locations. CBP also expanded facial biometrics at 38 seaports and all pedestrian lanes at both southwest border and the northeastern border ports of entry. So if the technology was not reliable, the US border agency wouldn't be allowing people inside without, on a half-baked technology. And till date, CBP, and this is from the government side of CBP, till date, it has processed about 300 million travelers using biometric facial comparison technology, and it has prevented more than 1,800 imposters from entry into the United States of America. So the evolution of face technology reflects a combination of advanced computer vision, machine learning, and availability of large data sets. As the technology progresses, addressing ethical concerns and ensuring responsible deployments are crucial considerations. I'm sure there will be some questions around privacy issues coming up towards the end of the webinar, and we'll be happy to take those questions at the end. And if you were to post your questions in the chat, we will be taking them on from there. So with accuracy, so over the past few years, facial recognition technology has also, as I said initially, has undergone significant advancements and evolved into various aspects. And some of the key trends which are changing this technology even faster is that today there is the aspect of accuracy and performance improvement. So advances in deep learning networks have led to power both nice people wearing masks. But now developers have worked over time. And today, we can have positive identification of even people wearing masks. Then there is a new trend, which is towards the anti-spoofing technologies. And where can we present maybe a mask or a picture of a person in front of a FRT acquisition camera and get away? The answer possibly is no, because today we have algorithms, smart algorithms, which check for liveness detection. The most interesting concept is the customization and integration. The technology can be customized, and it can also be integrated into other business systems. And we will learn about that as we go about that. And the other trend which is coming up is that of bimodal biometrics. Can this technology work with other modes of biometrics, for example, fingerprints or voice recognition or gait recognition? We will learn about that. And of course, at the end, we have regulatory developments where the governments and regulatory bodies around the world have been developing and implementing guidelines and regulations for the responsible use of facial recognition technology. When I say responsible, yes, you got it right. We'll be speaking to our panelists also about the responsible deployment and usage of this technology. So with that, I think I would like to call upon my panelists on the show today and learn some more. So are we good to go, everybody?
Yeah, sure.
Yes,
Sure.
We have many people in the audience. Great. And people who are in the audience, if we are good to go, just type in into the chat, and we'll be happy. So we know that you guys are all out there, and we can't see you at the moment, but it'll be good if you can post your comments and things, and in the chat. So we have now, we'll spend the next about 30 to 40 minutes in talking about the various aspects of the technology. And to begin with, I would, I think, like to ask Valerie the question about, the recent developments and the evolution of, I did mention some, but, she would have the actual insights because she's hands-on onto day-to-day with this technology. And even I'm eager to learn from her. So Valerie, please tell us about the evolution of face recognition technology. And thereafter, just tell us something about the key products that RecFaces develops and their applications. So over to Valerie.
Sure. Thank you. And first of all, I'm thrilled to be here today with such a fantastic group of professionals. And I would like to start by welcoming all of you, our hostess, our guests and listeners, and say thank you for taking the time to participate in this event. I think today's discussion is opportunity for us to come together and discuss some crucial points about facial recognition implementation, share our expertise, knowledge in the biometric field, and of course, get a feedback from our listeners on what their facial recognition implementation cases are. I really hope that our discussion today will give to listeners some ideas of how facial recognition can and should be applied for security purposes, and as well as for day-to-day life tasks. So thank you, Mr. Singh, for the overview of development of facial recognition technology. So you're right.
Well, if I can, just interject here at this point, and and before we progress further, I think we have our backend team wants to show some couple of videos, which will actually set the whole thing in the right context. So So are we good to go? And this is about a 1-minute video each. It won't take much of our time, but I think I found those videos very, very enlightening.
Yes, you can demonstrate it right now.
Thank you, Valerie. Do we have the audio?
I know.
We don't seem to have an audio. Okay. Do we wait? Can we have the other video?
Yeah, we saw the video.
Okay, great. Great. So, Valerie, that video was possibly, I think, about I think you will touch upon that. It's about people, the dependence on access cards, although there's a huge infrastructure of access cards which have been deployed out in the industry and various applications. It's about plastic cards going out and touchless biometrics coming in. And when we have physical credentials on us, we tend to forget them at different places, but we never forget our biometric credentials anywhere. We possibly can't. So Valerie, let me ask, okay, is there another video coming up? Great. So Valerie, tell us about some key products that you may have for the Indian market and how they may be of use to customers.
Yes, I would like to start with this video that we saw. All these videos, it's about our projects with access control systems, and these videos shoot from our implemented project in business center in Dubai. So come back to your question and answering on this question, of course, facial recognition technology has evolved significantly in the recent years with advancements in machine learning, 3D scanning, and etc. And if we don't go to the past and don't talk about 3D scanning, facial recognition is experiencing the next round of popularity. And now this technology is becoming widespread, and more pioneering countries in the field of technology, such as India, Dubai, are successfully applying facial recognition not only for security purposes, but for simplified border cross, personal interaction between client and consultant, between traveler and carrier. And nowadays, I am seeing such interesting ideas as a biometric corridor. I would like to add some words about that. What is it? This is an idea of free flight without pre-registration actions. From the airport entering to boarding, a passenger go through all the border checks contactless, using only biometric technologies. So I strongly believe the future of facial recognition includes ideas like this one. And regarding our key products and their applications, in RecFaces, we highlight different business sphere where facial recognition can be applied. Firstly, physical security and safety of critical infrastructure, airports, stadiums, exhibition halls, transportation hubs, manufacturing, enhancing security, tracking criminals' faces through lists, notifications, search and archive. All these features can cover facial recognition technology. Secondly, area banking and financial field. Facial recognition can be used to verify or confirm identity in banking and in other services where ID verification is required. Of course, upgrade customer experience in VIP offices of the bank or in commercial buildings. For example, if we take classic queue management system, in this system are ranked a queue in accordance with different types of services. Get a loan, get a card, make a payment, and etc. Facial recognition enables businesses to expand the customer routing capabilities and make the service more personalized. For instance, if a customer belongs to the VIP category, he or she is given priority in the queue. Integration with CRM also automatically prepare a special offer for the VIP client or visitor, who will be informed about that by operator. Furthermore, a video surveillance camera equipped with facial recognition technologies at the entrance of the store identifies each visitor with accounts for 100% of the brand's offline audience coverage. And as a result, the store owner receives a proper report on the target audience and its gender and age statistics. Data of unique visitors and the number of repeated visits will allow store owner track the range of customer loyalty over the time of interest, and of course analyze why and what step customers may have been lost. So yes, facial recognition can be implemented for different businesses and for different fields.
That's very interesting, Valerie. And that reminds me, I think it was the year was 2016, and I was involved in as a consultant with a project in Goa, in the city and state of Goa, which is the tourist destination of India. And this project was that there was the largest and about 50,000 square feet of area spread. It was the largest onshore casino which was coming up in that city. And the promoters had put in the state-of-the-art equipment. They had imported all the kind of slot machines and everything, the roulette tables and everything from around the world. And they wanted to, and they had the video surveillance, one of the very well-designed video surveillance systems implemented by known brands of cameras and the back-end systems in place. And they wanted to, and they had different areas where the general public could go, and then they had a very VVIP kind of a lounge where very high-end professionals would be guided. They had, and these high-end professionals would have separate entry where normal public could not see them, and they never came in face to face with the normal people visiting the casino. And they wanted that to be a very, very exclusive lounge for the, and they wanted the cameras at the main entrance to recognize their clients, and also the bad people, who may have been blacklisted. And they wanted to show it on screens, show the name and welcome that person by automatically recognizing. And so that gives a very VIP status to the person who's coming in. And at the same time, somebody who may have cheated in the past, and that person may have been blacklisted, the security would possibly accost them right there, engage with them there and guide them out of the premises. So and we didn't have that technology which was reliable in those days. So I'm sure that possibly the need of that customer can possibly be fulfilled today, if not then. So that's interesting, the different applications where this technology can actually be applied. But tell us, where people who have or end users who have already they have their systems in place, the video surveillance network systems in place, and they are using cameras of a certain brand, and they're using a video management system of another brand, and the system is working well, and they want to implement products onto their platforms, video surveillance platforms. How easy is it to connect with different platforms like, for example, Milestone, and how many other different big manufacturers or brand names can your products be interfaced with?
Thank you for the question. In RecFaces, we have a statement that facial recognition software should be run on different types of hardware and not tied to a specific one. And one of our example case study, I would say, by retail chain in Latin America market. In Latin America, Brazil, as we all know, it's one of the most dangerous countries in the world. And Takla Group, one of the most popular retail chains in the country, had request for facial recognition for the security in malls, and choose us, make it happen. Our main task was to find the most dangerous people, criminals from the database of particular mall, which could be on the perimeter or inside of the mall. Also, the mall top management periodically encountered cases of shoplifters, which caused losses and reduce the attractiveness and reputation of for new tenants. What we did, we implemented a ready-made facial recognition software, ID Guard, that seamlessly integration with Pelka Video Expert. And we already had this integration with the current video management system, and that is why installation took just 20 minutes. I would like to pay your attention that we don't change the cameras or video management system. We work with current infrastructure and saved a lot of customers' resources, including human resources as well. So yes, we have in RecFaces, we have a list of integrations with video management systems and access control systems. And it allows to customer, to our partner, promote our product because we already have this integration with top leaders of the market. Of course, a lot of customers wanted integration with third-party system, and we can do it also. We can provide open API for integration. All our products have open API, and thanks to open API, customer or partner can integrate our system and current video surveillance system or access control system. So, sorry, we can't hear you. You need to turn on your microphone.
Sorry, my apologies there. I would understand that your backend technical team would be helping the end customers work with the open APIs and see that hold their hands if possible, if needed, to see that they achieve the end results which they desired when they went for this technology. So great. It's good to know there are some questions which are being posted. I think keep them coming because we'll take them at the end. And now I think I would like to move on to our two guests, very important guests. Now that we've been educated and we've learned something about the FRTs, the face recognition technology systems, and also what RecFaces can do for us. And I'd like to move on to and ask our guest on the show this afternoon about Colonel Mahendra Singh, that what has his been experience, because he runs a very large manufacturing plants of automobiles across the nation, and it's India's topmost brand. When we think of a automobile, we think of Maruti Suzuki. And I have the occasion to have been visiting that plant, and I know, how many workers come in the morning, and how quickly they need to get out from their cars or their vehicles and pass through the security controls and be available within the shortest time at their assembly points to start assembling cars. And it's not an easy task to be managing those thousands of workers coming in the morning and in a very short span of time, traversing through all these checks and being at their location. So Colonel Mahendra Singh.
Yeah, thank you, GB-san. Thank you for this opportunity. It's great learning for us also. First, let me admit, we are a very old company, but little old-fashioned. And as it is in India, facial technology has not yet been fully utilized. It has tremendous scope. I mean, hitherto only iPhones were using it and some of other gadgets. But today, I can tell you in the last 2 years, especially from the COVID days. So I was managing COVID for the whole company. And at that time, the problem was the temperature. Either you had the guns, and that would take a lot of time, everyone. So we tried to figure out how we can do it with the help of facial recognition technology, primarily to find out the people who are infected. The second one was, there was a method of singling out those people who have symptoms, who would have indicated that they have symptom. So we tried to do it with this technology, but like I said, it is still, we didn't have very many players. Too many people came in to give a solution, but it didn't work out, though we wanted that. Now, fast forward 2 more years, and now we are having a technology. We already implemented it. So what is it? Not COVID, but say a very simple thing like very correctly, GB-san, you said how a very streamlined method has to be used. There should be least waste of time at the gates. So laptop checking is one of the things that were required to be done by the guards. So everybody used to come, show the laptop, he would check the laptop number, tally it with his register, see the face, and then let the people go. So what we have now tried it again, FRT, where one of the companies have been commissioned by us, who is mapping the biometrics of the face at the back end. At the turnstile, there will be a camera, their own camera, and near the turnstile, there will be a place where the detector will be there. So all you got to do is to put your laptop bag. Don't even have to take it out. Just put the laptop, and they have got, sensors kind of a thing. It's a little, bigger than the normal plastic strip that you put, because you need a higher kind of, energy range. So it's very interesting. You look into the face, much like the Digi Yatra. Here the Digi Yatra backend is with UDI. From there you draw. So on our server, all the data, all the facial recognitions mapped to a particular asset is stored. The guy has to come, just put the thing on where the located position is, wait for 3 to 5 seconds. It matches. If it is okay, it will cross and you go ahead. Now, this is saving a lot of time for us. This is something that we have done already. Now, here is what technology can do. This is not enough. So we said, okay, why don't you integrate this with the turnstile itself? When turnstile should open only when the face matches. So attendance can be there, entry can be there, the asset can be tracked. 3 things happening at one point in time. So GB-san, this is what I am trying to do. Here the challenge is, first part is okay, we have done it. Where within 3 to 4 seconds, the backend data says, yes, the right asset owner is there, fine. But integrating this with the turnstile, and it's a separate company. So technology-wise, it can be done, but there has to be synergy. We are trying to do it, if those people can integrate with them to be able to work these 3 things together. This is one of the things that I thought I'll bring it out, which I am doing personally for the company. The second thing is, sorry, you want to say something?
No, I said that's very enlightening to know what is the challenge that you're facing, because once we've identified the challenge and we've actually come down identifying the actual problem, then finding a solution becomes much more easier.
Yes, the challenge is that there are 2 separate entities, companies put in their money, 2 different, areas of business. If I had a lot of money, I'll make a company which makes turnstiles worldwide, which makes FRT, and then we can work it out. But that's one challenge. I think it can be surmounted. There's no problem. The second one is there in our R&D center. And you see, we have got big areas, 300 acres, 700 acres plant. Now, for FRT to work, you have to have the cameras, you have to have the beacons, you have to have the relay areas, all kinds of things. It is a huge, huge proposition. That is second problem that we have had. But not facial, though it is something to do with RFID kind of technology where everybody wears a band. And wherever they go in the plant, they can be traced. And we needed it because we lost a couple of people in a fire where we could not locate where they are. So today, if you remember, I mentioned this in one of the earlier sessions with Vicky, that we have already implemented this technology. We will trace everybody who goes inside the plant. Now, take it one step further. It is not only the person's presence which is getting recorded, Suppose you also have adequate cameras to say where was the last position of this person. That can be found out with the the band that he's wearing. But the face is important. So biometric has shifted from the thumb or to any wearable device to the attributes of the face, which means who the individual is. So that is where we are looking at doing it. And then the GVSAN will come the problem of DPDP, Digital Personal Data Protection Bill, Act, which is already enacted. So how do you ensure that? You see, there are three attributes, traits, and character. 3 words. This is what you have to make sure that you guard against its leakage, so your data protection bill is taken care of. This is the challenge. This is how things are. And there is one more thing I want to bring out. We are a union-centric company. The biggest problem a union-centric company has, where are miscreants? Where are people who can create problems? How do you know that? So long time back, somebody came, I given this, not task, opportunity to him. If I give you the photograph of 20 people, and within the company precincts, I can track them because that is permissible by law, I will know where they are. And if there is a large gathering getting, accumulated somewhere, I can find it out and I can address it. That I can still do. Now, this is where the FRT can come, because cameras are all over the place. Our whole area is covered with our cameras, CCTV system. So if RecFaces or anybody can use this to give the 3 problems that I had said earlier, then that would be good use of technology and very satisfactory use of technology. So that was all, GV-san. If there is any question also, I'll take it on. Over to you.
Yes, we used to have a teacher used to give us homework, so I can so I can see that you've given homework to the RecFaces team today.
Not really, but yes, opportunity.
So, and I'm sure that that they'll probably have some solutions coming your way, and while they may have a response to you, we will come to that after we've gone through with the. Okay. We have time. We have the clock ticking away, and I have to keep my eye there on the clock as well. So we'll come to that point, I think, right at the after we've listened to Mohit and Mohit's experience with working within Reliance with biometric technologies and specifically the face recognition technologies. So Mohit, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Thank you for the opportunity. And thank you everyone for joining this webinar. So as you all know, Reliance is a Fortune 500 company and the largest private sector corporation in India. Our businesses are across all major verticals like energy, petrochemicals, retail, digital, the whole Geo-Yatra, new energy, media, and entertainment. And since we are in all these verticals, there are varied levels of facilities, varied type of facilities that we have, where we have our access control or security systems deployed in a very small store and right up to a large refinery. So we have been using biometric technology for many years now. Our primary go-to technology was the fingerprint, because that was very reliable, established, and yes, easy to use, easy to understand. And also we used for almost like 7 years, the iris-based technology for blacklist purpose. These two were our go-to primary technologies that we were using for over many years. And post the year 2020, a natural progression into facial recognition technology for security solutions happened. This was partly because of the pandemic requirement of having contactless operations as far as possible, and the fact that the facial recognition technology became more reliable and accessible. More and more vendors were there, more and more solutions were there, standardization by NIST, testing. So a lot of these actually helped the natural progression to facial technologies for us. So as of date, across our various verticals, we may have more than 1,500 access points where facial recognition technology has been deployed, more than 500 points where time and attendance is being captured using facial recognition, and almost close to 2 lakh or 0.2 million people would have interacted with the technology in either access control or attendance. As part of our team, our primary goal is basically related to security automation, and there are byproducts which the different departments can also utilize as part of this whole setup. The primary use cases that we handle is basically enrollment verification, access control, and watch list verification and visitor management. These are the 4 major primary use cases that we as a security organization are actually looking into. During the last 4 years of the implementation phase of this technology over such a huge landscape, there were many challenges, like it comes with any new technology when you start implementing. So there is a start point, yes, and you have certain expectations, but during implementations, you come up with challenges and you find solutions. And some of those solutions are very educating, both from a customer perspective, like we are the end users, and also to the OEMs who work with us and understand these challenges which are there on the ground. So the first thing that we faced as a challenge was that all our existing pass sections, they were supposed to be upgraded so that this new enablement of facial enrollment can be done. So there was infrastructure related issues, lighting, backdrop, new camera setups. So some of the facilities which are old, there we faced some challenge, but yes, over time, all of that was catered to. Then the next big challenge was basically training the end user of the system to actually effectively use the system. As for most of our manufacturing sites, where I am basically focusing into, the bulk of the users remains the contract laborers and the workers who are actually accessing the site on daily basis. For them to use this technology, a lot of training and hand-holding is required. For if a worker has to pass through a turnstile where he has to actually badge his card, show his face on a face reader, understand all the LEDs that are coming in front of him, and then make a decision to actually move forward. All of this is little, I think for him, it is a little challenging in the beginning. So we worked with our security operations team, and in the field, we did all these drills, tests. We slowly started with, for example, if you have a bank of turnstiles of like almost 10 turnstiles, we started with few turnstiles, educated the workers, and once they started getting hang of it, then it became a usual practice. And actually they enjoyed basically passing through the turnstiles having face, because they thought it looks like a premium technology for them to do, and they don't have to basically show their card on a particular reader. So yes, the natural usage from the workers came into that, because if the training is not done, then the accuracy gets affected. These being cooperative systems where the user has to cooperate with the system. So that is what we face as a major challenge. Then one aspect of our challenge was also integrating with the existing HR, or I would say master data sources systems, from where basically the details about a user comes. So since these systems were old, they didn't have open APIs openly. So there was a challenge against those integration also. Over time, we have built all the required tools that are required, and now all this master data transaction is very smooth. There was also issue in terms of using existing infrastructure. For example, at some of the use cases, we wanted to use our existing cameras, but either the angles that the camera was providing was not adequate for the facial recognition, or the lighting available in that particular area throughout the day was not there. Even there were the east-west direction issues. So, in outdoor implementation, the sun moves, and because of the movement of the sun, if the cameras are not placed properly, you have basically the sunlight falling onto the camera, which again affects facial recognition. So all these issues, one by one, we tackle them, and I would say, yes, we are on top of it right now, and most of our establishment is now, whatever we have done is being used properly, and we are able to do that. Lastly, I would say there were certain technology related issues, like it was already mentioned by you. The first set of systems that we deployed were not able to detect faces when the mask was worn. So initially, we requested people to lower their masks at that particular location. And then with newer systems, the algorithms becoming better now, all that detection can happen. Also, there were issues with respect to, in the plant area, usage of safety goggles, because workers used to come with the safety goggles, and that would actually affect their recognition. The accuracy would come down. So that also we have solved by upgrading the algorithms with our partners. One of the cases that you mentioned was like live phase detection. In the initial implementations, it was not there, but yes, later on, we have got that pieces solved. And lastly, a very edge case was like identical twin detection, which would also be my questions for RecFaces team, how they solve this problem, because it took us a lot of time and we found a way to solve that as part of our algorithm development. So yes, these were the major key challenges that I would say we had during our implementation over the last 4 years, which we have been able to work with our partners and our solution providers and close them. We also had a lot of benefits implementing this new technology. One was definitely the contactless solution. It had a better user acceptance because of the technology itself. The user were more likely to use it. The enrollment of the entire biometric became very easy compared to the earlier biometric systems where a person needed to be physically present on top of a reader. If you have to enroll a fingerprint, you have to be there, put your finger on the sensor. If it's iris, you have to see into the camera. Now the enrollment has become very easy. You can be anywhere. We just need a good quality photograph with a particular aspects, and then you don't have to be physically there. And also you can do bulk mode enrollment. So you can, if you have 1,000 photographs, you can just do 1,000 bulk enrollment, which can be done now, which was not possible with earlier technologies. So yes, that is a big benefit. Faster operations, the system works very fast. And then we worked with our different departments, and then we had certain use cases that we were able to meet for them also. For example, plant operations at most of our plant across the country, we have been able to do people count with the existing camera setup. But again, in a cooperative manner, the person actually has to show his face on the existing camera. Compliance validation, where the plant people, once they know that so-and-so person is inside the plant, are they properly trained? Do they have the right clearances to be in the plant? That is something that we were able to do. Better emergency response. All our emergency response areas were equipped with cameras. The existing cameras were repurposed with the technology. So if you are there at the emergency response area, you don't have to badge here and there. You just look at the camera and you are recorded. With systems like RecFaces and newer systems which are having non-cooperative facial recognition, we are also looking at certain other use cases, like repurposing the existing CCTV infrastructure for people counting, for identifying blacklist people moving in crowds, for crowd counting, and depending upon what kind of facility, we also have use cases in retail and in convention centers, like if a child is lost, to find the child in the crowd. So these kind of use cases are what we are now looking at with the non-cooperative systems. I think that was a bit from my end.
So that's fantastic. I think that those kind of learnings can only come from somebody who's grappled with the technology and seeing and has been able to see the success of the technology. And when you say that, you know, there are 200,000 people who are using in your own enterprise, who have been using this for access control and into different areas. I think that is proof of the pudding, they say, is in eating it. So here I think this actually establishes a firm fact that yes, FRT is here to stay, and that yes, it's usable and deployable within the field. It may have some challenges, it may have some implementation issues with the certain unique applications that people may have. But again, it's a great thing, especially, you know, being able to in disaster response. You know, just having a camera there and at the assembly points and people just coming there and showing their face would tell the system that, who all have come, and possibly from another camera in another location, it will be very easy to find out which person is where in the plant even now, so that rescue operations can be focused in that area at that point in time. And that information coming in real time can actually save a lot of lives. And so I'd like to move on. I can see some questions which even Mohit, you answered. I think we have Colonel Deepak Dadwal from the Times of India group. He's a security professional. I think it's pretty much similar what you're saying. So we'll have probably RecFaces try and attempt to answer that at the end of our interaction. So over to Shashi. Shashi, are you there? Hello.
Yeah, hi, I'm here.
Hi, Shashi. So Shashi is the guy, who actually I think would be listening in, because he's India centric, and he is the guy whose integrators need to come and grapple with those problems from large end users like you, and he has to support them and get support back, back from RecFaces, and be able to answer and face the issues. So Shashi, if you can tell us some challenges that you faced in actually selling this technology, and what kind of questions that customers may be asking you, if you can do that, quickly. We are running out of time, but I'm sorry, but yes, if you can just tell us those few things, and then we'll have some time for the Q&A and at the end.
Yeah, see, first off, the first thing is that when it comes to the facial recognition technology, so basically, it is an era of this technology, and the FRS systems are nowadays, very essential components in the majority of surveillance. And the new concept, which is now coming up, is be called virtual access control solutions. So these systems will basically going to define your workplaces with a completely different approach to the access control as well. When it comes to the challenges, I don't think so much challenges, because the technology and the pros and cons and the dependencies of the technology, most of these details are very much available in public domain. And before moving to any of these systems, the customer basically do their own homework. What is most of the time as a solution provider, we need to educate them, to understand to approach the system logically. They have to slightly understand the dependencies and why those dependencies are there. Definitely one thing which is very important for most of the customer is the integration of these systems with other systems. So this system should complement the other part of the technology as well. And then in terms of if you see the technology advancement, FRS is on a completely different level of accuracy. The FRS system can now enhance your slightly video images. They capture the images, they structured it, they little bit enhance it, and then they process it for the verification. Apart from that, I don't think so any challenges. Only challenge we can see is the functional requirement, but I believe most of the customers are shorted on those areas. They are very clear. Like recently, we just got Maruti on board with RecFaces. And Maruti, as a team, were very clear that what they are exactly looking from the system. From the day one, when they got the system in their premises for the POC, they were very shorted. And this with most of the customers, whether it's a city, whether it's an enterprise customer like Reliance or other IT companies, they are very clear with the FRS system as a technology, as a set in terms of the deployment dependencies and the use cases. So yes, we are not seeing those challenges which we were initially facing 2 years back, when the technology was completely new, and all those questions were there in terms of the accuracy, whether the system, how the system is going to handle bias, skin tones, skin colors, different lighting conditions, different angles, low resolution cameras, and all that. So I believe most of these concerns are now, very well addressed by the technology advancements. And we can see that in the future, we'll see, out of 10, 8 projects are going to adopt facial recognition technology as, must to have a kind of module to ensure the safety and security of their people.
So thank you. Face recognition technology can safely be said to be the technology of the future.
Absolutely.
Super. Coming to Farida, there were a couple of questions. I think Mohit did mention about the initial difficulty of getting workers at the lowest level adapt to the new cameras and the systems and the imaging terminals. But I'm sure if there is an idiom which says monkey see, monkey do. If monkeys can do that, I think some humans can very much in a short time adapt themselves to new usage. And for that, I think. But tell us something about what are the different aspects of training and awareness, because that's one area which is very, very important. And where does that fit in, and how do you go about addressing that?
Thank you, Mr. Singh, for the introduction and for the time, and thank you, colleagues, for your speeches and for attendees. And yes, for example, all questions which we today discussed is related to training as well. Why? Because the more you trained, the more information you get, and this, for example, you can get these all difficulties and concerns based on facial recognition, for example, technology. And of course, like Lara mentioned, we can work with any equipment. We do not, for example, depend on the equipment. By the way, when we talk about the real cases, you need to know about how to implement successfully, how to be aware about some, for example, error rates or something like that. And that's why training, what is it training from facial recognition side? For example, as a vendor, we, for example, companies like we, and we also can provide some courses, some offline ones, in order to, for example, explain and give some expertise according to this technology, like how to install cameras perfectly, how to work with camera angles, how algorithms are trained, for example, some basic knowledges regarding facial recognition system in masks with different regions, even for data privacy, for example. And this all help us to provide the solution, and also before deployment, you may know about challenges and concerns. For example, the most popular challenges, I suppose, are lighting conditions, equipment, and forgery. Like, for example, why facial recognition system can provide liveness control in order to protect systems or protect physically from the forgery by photo or video. And of course, awareness and facial recognition trainings need to be implemented like a pre-sale part or something like that, in order to help your the end customer as well, integrator or distributor, in order to provide the safe technology. And based on it, of course, facial recognition system has been improving now, and of course trained, and you need to know about some improvements, like how it was improved during the several years, for example, for face deep fakes, or like for other industries. And that's why, of course, also training main part is to introduce about new functions, like, for example, my colleague Mohit also mentioned about visitor counting, regarding, for example, even for passport control or something like that. There are several solutions, these several functions for the concrete case, for the specific use cases, and etc. And that's why awareness and facial recognition technology can be used properly if you know about some functions about some basis of facial recognition accuracy or something like that. And also in the chat, I saw the questions related to this or data privacy or something like that. And of course, you need to know all necessary things regarding this technology, I suppose.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for that. And it's good to know it's not just the training and awareness of humans. Even the algorithms need to be trained onto large data sets for for them to have accuracy and and dependability. And so there are so with that, I think we can jump on to some quick questions. I think all the panelists, can you see the questions in the chat? So we have the first one. Rajiv Bajaj is asking. Rajiv is from Alba, and he's asking for us to explain the solution architecture.
I suppose I may explain the solution architecture. For facial recognition system, it is very important to have a core. This is the main part of the system on which, for example, facial recognition algorithm is based. For example, can be some functions, but the main function is facial recognition algorithm, which is implemented in the main core. Then, for example, in order to work with IP cameras, there can be some services which process the video because, for example, IP camera can be processed and photos can be extracted. The next one also, facial recognition system can work in geographically distributed places, like, for example, the main core in the Delhi, but the cameras in the Mumbai, like something like that. And this can also help you to work through this architecture. But the main is that, for example, the core, which can be installed safely, not only, for example, in the cloud, because cloud is not safe actually, and, for example, in the servers, in the virtual machines, then you can connect cameras to this, and all facial recognition process will be on in the core. And architecture is also when we're talking about the integration, like, for example, this milestone. This also means that two systems, facial recognition and milestone, can be connected through the network, and all data will be sent between two systems. Like, for example, milestone can send RTSP link from the camera, and our system can send instant notification to the milestone operator. And for doing this, of course, it needs to be in the same system and configured properly. But architecture is, yes, you need to have facial recognition core, and this core can be connected to the third-party systems as well.
Okay, so thank you. So we have another question, which I can see that we can club maybe two questions together. One is from Mr. Surendranath Perugu, and the other one is from my friend Balwant Singh Atwal. I think both of them relate to the ability of, they're talking about the legal and ethical frameworks that we should be aware of by deploying. And Balwant is talking about the data privacy laws in India. So I think we can possibly combine that and answer that. Is it compliant with the data privacy laws? And, what are the privacy issues that you have been facing here in India pertaining to the local, standards and laws which are applicable here? From the panel who may like to answer that, yeah.
Colleagues, maybe I can ask this question if you do not mind.
Sure,
And
sure.
regarding the ethical one, legal ones, of course, before deploying the facial recognition, of course, it is a need to be includes the compliance. For example, the different regulations, such, for example, we work with GDPR in each country. For example, there are understanding the ethical implications of facial recognition are ensuring transparency, accuracy, and etc. But, for example, for India and any region, it is just very important to protect data safely, like in a different system, like access control system or something like that. And for example, more precise estimates, or to be more precise, it is very important to stay updating with the evolving legal landscape and the regulation developments related to facial recognition. And of course, the main thing that when you are deploying facial recognition technology should consider data protection and privacy laws, such as the information technology laws, rules. And in each country, depends on the country, of course, but technically, when you implement facial recognition, the end customer is responsible for data protection and data storage. And of course, if you're talking about video surveillance, you need to also know about some concerns in the law about that. But actually, all the main products are related to the GDPR. This is the European one. And if it is working with GDPR, it can be worked, I suppose, throughout the world as well.
Great. So there's a question from Colonel Deepak Dadwal about, he says, though camera quality and specifications impact facial recognition accuracy, what false positive rate and false negative rates and true positive rates are we expecting with the current technology?
That's
so with that, I will club something that Mohit possibly mentioned about identical twins. If we have an answer for that. Yeah. Yes, Farida, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I suppose that true positive rates, false rates vary significantly based on the technology use, of course, and the data set for training model and other factors. But facial recognition technology can achieve impressive accuracy rates, but the performance need to be, for example, in a specific condition. That's why to conduct very precise estimates, it is very important to conduct through testing in the intended deployment environment. And now, for example, or based on our experience, we can say that it can vary from 97 up to 99% accuracy, even these various conditions of lightning. Because, by the way, it can be also configured, like, for example, you purchased the ready-made solution. You installed it and that's all. No, you need to configure it appropriately according to your case. And in the real time, in real life, you need to know if you would like to receive very accurate rates, you need to configure system properly. If configuration is well, the accuracy will be up to 99%. Even this eliminating errors and something like this, because now facial recognition system has been improved significantly in this phase, and this can help you to understand only if you will have test demo. And in this demo, you will estimate and see how it works in your region, in your environment, and something like that. And that's why all systems need to be tested before purchasing.
Great. And just one question, which even I would like to find an answer to. Jivan Desai asks that, can we use FRT effectively for small children, like 4 to 8 years, especially for attendance purpose?
Actually, no problem. And also maybe you have heard about National Institute of Standards and Technologies in the USA. This is the main organization which can help you to understand and select facial recognition algorithm based on different cases, like, for example, the age, gender, hair color, and something like that. And for attendance purpose, it's if your cameras or your terminals, face readers are configured correctly and installed correctly, there are no problem to work this kids recognition. But also, please be aware about regarding, for example, attendance. It can be like, for example, just counting the number of people, even kids. If we talk about the comparison and identification, there is a concern like a database. If in the database you have a photo of this kit in good quality, in enough quality, in middle quality, our system will work perfectly with kits as well. there are no challenges for that. But in a real case, it is need to be considered for that purposes where you install. For example, in kindergartens, in schools, it works for safety reasons. But for especially for attendance, it need to be yes, it can work, but it can be configured properly for the cases, the specific cases. But yeah, there is no concerns for working with children like this.
So thank you for that. I think we really run out of time, and we were rather overstepped our time by a little over 20 minutes. But I'm happy that you know, the audience is still very much there. And so I'm with that. If anybody wants to have a last word from the panel, or should I conclude the session by thanking the audience? So
I just would like to add and say thank you for all participants and listeners. And if you have any requests, if you have any concerns regarding facial recognition implementation and ethic challenges, I see a lot of questions about it. So you will contact with me via phone or email. So yes, please ask, please contact with me, and we will discuss your project and your request. Thank you.
yes, I think there are requests for coming in. I think Valerie, you've already answered, you know, where to get hold of you. So which is good. And with that, I would like to first thank my panel for a brilliant afternoon session where we all learned about facial recognition technology. The end users were brilliant with their coming out very candidly with their challenges which they faced. And we couldn't have hoped to have better end users than Maruti and Reliance with us today. And they are the forerunners of brands which possibly every Indian recognizes. And of course, Shashi was there to actually support the application of this technology. So with that, I would like to thank our audience for being with us this afternoon. And I do recognize quite a few old-time friends there. I cannot possibly be thanking each one of them individually, but yes, thank you for being there this afternoon, and thank you very much. And please stay tuned, because Security Today will be bringing you more such educative webinars this year, and on different aspects which concerns our industry. And this is spending an hour or an hour and a half in the afternoon, I think should be a valuable learning for most of the constituents of our industry, as there is no shortcut to education. It has to be experienced and learned. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day, and God bless.
Thank you very much, colleagues, all, for your time. It was a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.